back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Well, it's absolutely carnival music. I thought it was Goodbye Cruel World, which starts off with a carnival theme. It's Carnival Day at Shannon Oaks in Vancouver at 2526 Waverly Avenue. Sean Wilson and Jillian Fullerton from Shannon Oaks taking time out of Carnival Day. I'm impressed to spend a little bit of time with us here on the radio on Boomer Life and then hustle right back to East Vancouver to get the big show underway at 2 o'clock. If, by the way, listening to the program, you find yourself, well, we could probably stop by and have a look around. These people sound like they're having a good time. If you'd like to come by, you're certainly most welcome to anytime between 2 and 4 this afternoon. If you would, give them a call. Just give them a call before you go and say, party of 3 will be there sometime after 1 o'clock, and they'd be happy to welcome you when you come by. The number, again, is 604-324-6257. And if you didn't get a chance to write that down, I'll remind you of it, and it's also on the website. We mentioned, we were talking about all of the various types of accommodation, for lack of a better word, Sean, available at Shannon Oaks. And this is just one of the things that we boomers have to learn about as we try to be effective agents for our parents, helping them as they progress through their lives, consider retirement communities as an option, and more of our parents are at least open to the idea. Surprisingly, and I suppose in many ways, that's due to the nature of the changes of the retirement community business over the last, 10, 15 years. It's nothing like it was a dozen years ago.
Yeah, there's no longer the term nursing home.
Or even a home of any kind.
Yeah, usually the word home has that connotation that we remember from horror films nowadays.
Absolutely,
so, when you mention the word home, let's get you to a home. That language just is repulsive to seniors. There's so many better options now.
Right.
Person-centered services is really key. And at Shannon Oaks, we really provide the clean and open landscape for a person to live out their hobbies and live their activities. And in fact, we had a resident just a couple of weeks ago go on their first cruise ever.
Okay.
And the reason why he never went on a cruise before, he always had the money to do it, but he felt like he had the homebound responsibilities. He had to continue, maintaining his garden. He had to continue to cut the grass and all those other nuisance-style chores.
Right.
So he had the freedom to go on a cruise, and he just loved it.
Wow.
And so we just are so thrilled to be a part of people's lives, to see them at a later age enjoying life to the fullest.
And that's what we want. That's what, Jillian, what we boomers want from mom and dad. First and foremost, I think for any boomer, the safety is the paramount issue.
Yes.
First and foremost, for our peace of mind, to say nothing of mom or dad, we want to know that they will be safe.
Yes.
So, okay, that in Shannon Oaks, I think that pretty much goes without saying. But help us to become better agents for mom and dad. So, because it's usually, you're the marketing person, so when we pop in to get a brochure or to sit down for a brief conversation about possibilities and rates and the usual stuff, and then we go. And then maybe we'll come back a little later with mom in tow. So help us be good at what we wanted, that we want to pass this information along in a positive way that offers possibilities rather than, you really don't want to go there, Mom. That's not how you start the conversation. No. You want to start it off on the other foot.
That's right.
Like,
put yourself in your mom's shoes
right.
or your dad's shoes. They have lived in their family home for years. All right. They've got the whole sort of huge sort of idea of what do I do with my stuff? How do I deal with that? What's going to happen?
A lifetime of accumulated memories.
And but you want your parents to have an enriched life. So an enriched life is not necessarily being isolated in their home.
Right.
An enriched life is reaching out, making new friends, finding new experiences, doing the things, as Shauna suggested, the hobbies they've left behind,
right.
Not having time to do that. So think of the enrichment that's there. But also, as you're touring with mom or dad, take it at their pace.
Okay.
Take it at their pace. Listen to them. Yes, you're busy. Yes, you've got to get back to the office. Yes, you've got to take your son to the baseball game.
Right.
But at the same time, mom has her own pace, and so, or dad has his own pace.
Sure.
And listen to that
And-
and take the time to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of people treat it like furniture shopping. It's not furniture shopping. This is your mom or this is your dad. And
Right.
if you truly care about them, you're not going to just go on a data fact-finding mission. You're
Now-
going to spend some time to allow them the opportunity to process all the new things and new information and new ways of living that are being presented to them.
Now,
So-
that first visit, Sean, could very well be a fairly brief
Yeah.
data fact-finding mission on the part of the boomer
That's
And
right.
it usually is.
who just
It
stops
usually
in,
is.
get a brochure, have a
That's
chat,
right.
Yep.
have a quick look around, and
Then-
decide that, well, this I think I'd like to bring my mom back here
For
and have a
lunch.
tour.
Come for lunch.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, let mom sit down, enjoy the food so that she gets a sense of what it is. She can look around the dining room, see who's there.
Sure.
See her
You know,
peers.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
And often I'm sitting at lunch with a prospect and they're looking across, oh, there's Hazel over there. I knew Hazel back in such and such. I mean, it's so wonderful to have that.
Right.
You know, I mean, how she hasn't seen Hazel in years, and yet there she is.
Or
I
if
mean,
and we're on a tour and we discover that the person has a certain unique hobby, and then we think to ourselves, well, so and so has that hobby too.
yes.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
connect
Yeah.
this person
Yeah.
with that person and,
Yeah.
and let them, it's amazing to see new friendships flourish out of that. But the key
Well, they
thing,
do.
if we're speaking to the boomer kids out there, the key thing is to move it along at mom or dad's pace
Right.
and not just have it be all about the data you accrue. But certainly, first step, usually it's the boomer kids
Right.
coming. They want the brochure. They want some of the data for quick information, which is great. But as Jillian suggests, to come for a tour, and if they're still unsure about the next step, we even provide trial stays.
Okay.
So
Complimentary trial stays.
yeah, complimentary trial stay, because we want it to be a fit. Genuinely, we don't want somebody to be thrust into a situation by their kids, usually, to say, okay, I've taken care of that. I
Right.
remember visiting mom at Christmas time. Her fridge was empty. The milk was outdated.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to get her into Shannon Oaks, and that's it. No, we want somebody to be a fact-finding, inquiring boomer kid, and we want mom to genuinely feel settled. So the neat thing on a complimentary trial stay is that the mom or the dad, they come, they spend a few days, and the boomer kid goes home.
Right.
That's
And
right.
so,
Exactly.
That's
so
important.
genuinely,
Right.
the person gets to exist on their own in community and just relax and not have the pressure of their well-intentioned loved one
Right.
that's unfortunately usually pressuring them to well, there's a dynamic that happens that we see often, and that's the parent who has been the parent, the authority guiding figure all these years,
Right.
is now being controlled or steered or directed by their well-meaning child.
Right.
The one that's more capable, the one that's more information savvy, more connected with the current world, those sorts of things. And so we see this power shift happen, and it's so important that it be a tactful, caring, thoughtful guidance so that mom or dad can still make their own independent decisions.
So, Jillian, you would recommend then, as Sean, just to pick up on what Sean was saying about several days. So a trial stay involves more than just overnight, have breakfast and see
3 to
ya.
5 days, I'd
So
recommend.
several days.
Yes.
And you
during
al-
the week, 'cause
and
that's
you
key.
also said it's really important that the boomer kids go home and that the senior
Yeah.
has an opportunity
Yeah.
to spend a couple of days or
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
just on their own,
Yeah.
sampling the environment at their own pace.
Yeah.
And boomer kids can come for dinner
Oh,
one
sure,
night if
yeah,
they want,
right.
but let mom or dad just experience it on their own so they understand. They can put their own stamp on it.
Right.
It's not being, formed and shaped by their children, their adult children, but it's theirs.
And
It's
rest
theirs.
assured, it'll be a better experience than what they're currently experiencing in isolation on their own in the
Yeah.
home.
Right.
I think often one of the challenges is the adult children have the most memories in the home that mom's currently in.
You bet.
And then they can in fact be a barrier to mom moving because they think, well, the home's in good shape. I'm able to go visit mom whenever, and mom sounds or seems okay, but in the reality is she's probably or he's probably living in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you call them once a week, oh, that's quite regular for most relationships, but it may be the only call they get that week.
Right.
So be assured that at Shannon Oaks, isolation is a thing of the past.
Right. What about to flip that coin, though, Sean, just to play devil's advocate, because I can. What about
you play it well, by the way.
Thank you very much. I'll work on the horns for next session. But what about a person who is, shall we say, not gregarious, sort of an introverted personality, doesn't mix particularly well? A lot of people, just start shaking hands and off they go, and you just sit back and go, wow.
And we've got a lot of them, too.
But what about a person who's the opposite, who takes a while to open up and warm up? And especially if they have been in an isolated situation for a protracted period of time, they're going to be a little.
We respect that, and what we do is because they have meals together and they share meals with people, we will put. And I just recently put a very quiet lady in with another quiet lady, and it turns out. She came to me, she says, can I have somebody that's more talkative as well at the table? And so we put another talkative, because she'll sit back and listen,
right.
But she wanted somebody to sort of entertain them during the meal.
Oh.
So we did that. I mean, that's what's so great, because we get the feedback from the residents, and they tell us what they like. But we get to know the people as they're touring, as they're doing the trial stays, what they like, what they don't like.
Right.
And we put those together. People of like minds, like interests. Like this one lady was a great reader, and so was the other quiet person. So they shared some reading things.
Mm-hmm.
But the other person brought a sort of a, gregarious, outgoing sort of, and put life into the lunch table.
It's been fascinating to see people self-identify with a certain attribute.
Right.
And then after a couple of months of living at Shannon Oaks, if we were to reflect on who they said they were when they first arrived, who they presented as, and to see them now flourishing, socializing, involved in bowling every morning, involved in mini putt and just out and gardening. They may have never been a gardener before.
Sure.
We just see them come alive. And so it's really been, it's a blessing to work in an environment where you see people live life to the fullest.
And I suppose, to just follow up on that point, on an even more physical level, Sean, would be to see someone who's come in to Shannon Oaks and they're underweight. They haven't been eating particularly well. They're using a walker. They're frail. And then after a month or two, the typical warm-up period, the walker's long gone. The person's all pink and healthy looking. They put on a few pounds, and they're positively just scooting around.
Yeah.
And you would notice that. I mean,
you notice it right away. And in fact, these sorts of things happen all the time. You have a resident that maybe if they're living in their own home, they have groceries presently delivered, or their kids, boomer kids, deliver the groceries to mom and do a lot for mom. Well, mom's actually not getting out, not exercising, and what we provide is an opportunity for them to at least come down and join in meals in the dining room, have that socialization, and then what invariably happens is their fellow friend, new friend, will say to them, would you like to come down and join the lunch we have downstairs, or the birthday tea, or the other...
For card evening.
Yeah, the pianist,
cards,
the pianist that's coming in, the choir that's performing.
Come and join the choir.
Right.
We have a resident choir.
I know you
do.
But
they can get involved much as they want to, or as little as they want to.
Yeah.
That's choice we offer them.
Yeah.
And how they don't have choice at home.
Right.
But at Shannon Oaks, you've got all sorts of choices, a plethora of choices to which you can choose from. And that's the richness that we offer them.
Now, today, if you were to pop over to enjoy the carnival for a couple of hours between 2 and 4 this afternoon at Shannon Oaks, it's not typical in the extent that you've got it's a carnival day. Everybody's on
Bring
deck.
the kids.
And lots of
painting.
Visitors in and around the building and in the grounds and in the courtyard. So it'll be busy. So perhaps not a typical day, but typical in the sense, Sean, I think, of positive energy.
Well,
it'll be busy, but the energy level, I've been there on a very quiet afternoon, and the energy level is still very positive and very upbeat in a nice, quiet, restrained, but it's an energetic environment. Very positive.
It is. But you can also, if you come, you can get we can arrange to get Kirsten to give you a tour.
Okay.
If you want to do that all in that day.
Oh, so you could do that this afternoon?
You could do that.
Okay, so all the more reason to call first.
So if you want to have, it probably wouldn't be as thorough because there wouldn't be lunch involved, but Kirsten would certainly do that.
Okay, so here's the number again as we go to break here. It's 604-324-6257. Again, 604-324-6257. That'll get you right through to the front desk at Shannon Oaks. It's Carnival Day. You just tell them, hey, would love to come by. I was invited. Those nice people on the radio invited me, so I'm going to accept their invitation. We'll be 3, and we'll see you in another hour or 2. Just give them a call. You're more than welcome to come by. And we have lots more left on Boomer Life, and we'll continue right after this quick timeout.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.